Well, hello and good morning. This is Jeff Hooks. Once again, I want to welcome all of you to our VNI Quick Start training for Saturday morning, June 1st, 2019. Whether you're listening to this event live or via recording, I want to welcome you on behalf of the team here and the VNI family, which you're such an important part of. And I want to applaud the team here. Our mission, this is my Empower Conference shirt, our mission of helping people become beacons of health, hope, and abundance is really taking off in a big way. I mean, that's the only way to share it. We have had amazing growth in the month of May. The dust is still settling. We're still processing the last of the orders that came in late last night. I'll be getting the final reporting first part of next week on Monday. But suffice to say, as we before I introduce our featured trainers and leaders today, we are, every one of us, we're making a difference, and you are making a difference, and your team is making a difference. We are blessing people with these products. We are blessing people financially with this business. And here's the exciting things for all of us to understand. We are just getting started. We are just getting started. The world needs these products. The world needs the opportunity to create some part-time cash flow and take off some pressure, or full-time cash flow, depending on the vision, depending on the goal and the dream. But we are just getting started. And I'll share with you, one of the important kind of milestones, if you will, of celebrating the progress for all of us as the VNI family embarking on this mission together is we have the PIN system, the recognition system that we use for goal setting, we use for encouragement. And it's really a way of giving the team some focus and some clarity in their mission, instead of just kind of arbitrarily, which would be important, but adding customers, adding partners with no real clarity of focus, clarity of vision. Why are we doing this and where are we going? Our PIN system. Now, this gets into a little bit more of a leadership discussion, so I'm going to keep it brief for now. We'll cover more of this in other venues. But the whole idea of our PIN system is to give the team a focus point for that next step. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. So if you're brand new, that first step is associate manager. Okay. Then it's manager. Then it's executive manager. Then it's director. Then it's executive director. Those are the whole PIN system is designed for goal setting so that we can focus with clarity on what is that next step. And then encouragement so that we can celebrate that step. We can celebrate the progress. We can high five, and hug each other and say, all right, this is, because let's face it, the world, at least in my experience in the business world, is not overrun with encouragement. I'll put it that way. And what we want to do as part of the VNI mission and culture, it's not a culture of hype. That's where I've worked with companies that shall remain nameless, and hype becomes disingenuous and insincere, and in many cases inaccurate. What we want to do is, with humility, with gratitude, with kindness, with encouragement, is we want to celebrate that progress. Because keep in mind, every time one of our partners, every time one of your partners takes that next step, associate manager, executive manager, et cetera, every time they're doing that, what does that mean? Think about this. That means there's contribution, there's value. It means that people are being blessed by these products. It means that people are being blessed by our business model. It means that we have new customers engaging. It means that we have new partners engaging. And so it's all about contribution. And as the steps move on, there's a bigger impact. When you're brand new and you make that first associate manager step, that's so important. And somebody now is consuming these amazing products that probably a week ago or a couple weeks ago or maybe even a few days ago were not enjoying, they weren't feeding their body nutrition that gets in. So that's a big plus. But when you go, executive manager to director or beyond, you as a leader, as an emerging leader, can take healthy pride. We're always going to stay humble. We're always going to focus on servant leadership. But you can take healthy pride in recognizing that, you know what? I'm helping people. I'm impacting people's lives. And that's exciting. So with that being said, please understand, and we're going to, we've got the monthly corporate leadership call middle of the month, as always, the third Tuesday of every month. And we're going to go through all the rank advancement. But suffice to say for now, in the month of May, we had many, many, many new associate managers, many new managers, many new executive managers, two new directors, and two new executive directors. Folks, those are big numbers. Those are big. And so we are blessing and helping a lot of people. And I'll come back to that when I get ready to introduce the couple, the dynamic duo that don't need to be introduced. But real quick, as we cover on every single quick start training, let me do a quick peep and see who all is on today's event. Tim and Gwen, Donna, Cynthia, Bob Hoffman, Barbara, Annette. Got a bunch of people dialed in on the phone. That's great. Well, welcome to all of you. I appreciate you. Obviously it's busy and we all could be doing other things, but it's important to keep this mission a priority, whatever. And of course it's your vision, it's your goal, it's your choice as to the commitment level that you want to put into your VNI business and the VNI mission. But it's important. It's a noble one, and we are growing, and you are such an important part of that. So I want to start with that. But in addition to that, so back to the training. So most of the focus, not all, but most of the focus on today's training is going to be helping you, equipping you and your team to set the sails for wonderful progress in June, whatever that looks like for you. Whatever that means to you, and again, that's the beautiful thing about this journey that we're on together is you are the CEO of your own VNI business. I had a really good discussion with a couple of leaders on this concept. What does that mean? That means it's your vision, it's your business, and it's important that you own that. In other words, what do you want to accomplish over the next 2, 3, 4 years with your VNI mission? And if your vision is different than somebody else's, it likely is, that doesn't mean it's any less important if your goals, if you measure them in volume or customer base, et cetera, if your goals are smaller, that makes them no less important. So a good question for everyone to periodically come back to is if we were all, this entire team, everyone that's on this training event live or recording, if we were all to get together in person and share a giant cup of coffee or a giant thing of lemonade or whatever your favorite beverage is. It's kind of hot here in Charlotte, North Carolina, so I'd rather go with something iced at this point anyway. But if we were to get together 3 years from today and have an iced tea or a lemonade or ice water or coffee or whatever your favorite beverage is, what would need to happen with your VNI business, your customer base, your mission, what would need to happen in order for you to be pleased with your progress? Think about that question. Okay, I'm going to say it maybe a little bit differently, but if we were to get together 3 years from today, what would need to happen with your VNI business in order for you to be pleased with your progress? Not comparing yourself to anyone else, but it's your VNI vision. And I would encourage you to ponder that question. And if you haven't done it already, memorialize that into your VNI success journal and put some legs on that this weekend. That would be a great exercise as you set the sails for the new month of June. 3 years from today, we get together. What would need to happen between now and then in order for you to be pleased with your progress? Okay, so think about that. So so that kind of, begin with the end in mind, even though 3 years is not long term, it's long enough where it's healthy, it's productive, it's a great leadership exercise. Now, one of the things that we focus on every single week is the importance, and you're doing it right now, the importance of can't talk and type at the same time, staying plugged in. Stay plugged in. 2 tips that we always want to cover, whether you're a brand new partner just embarking on your journey with us, or whether you're one of the top leaders that helped fuel that wonderful growth in the month of May that's just getting started. We are just getting started. Recognize the importance of staying plugged in. Don't be an island. Don't isolate. Stay plugged into the events. That's the Thursday night product and business overview Zoom presentations. That's this event, the Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Quick start trainings. It's the Monday monthly product call. Okay, our founder and CEO is going to be down at a big symposium that he's going to share with you. He's chairing 2 big events, so I don't want to steal the thunder, but he's going to be down from New Orleans on Monday. So Monday at 8 o'clock Eastern is our monthly product call with Bill Downs and Steve Kushner. You don't want to miss it. Stay plugged in. The night after that, Tuesday night at 9 o'clock, the first Tuesday of every month, is our monthly product kickoff call. No. Scratch that. Our monthly kickoff call. So Monday at 8 is our monthly product call. Goodness gracious. Tuesday at 9 is our monthly kickoff call. Okay, and that's focused more on setting the sales, and we're going to tie into some of the teaching and training that will equip you to get off to that good start. We're going to build on that Tuesday. We're also going to feature several of our rank advancers on Tuesday's call. That's at 9 o'clock. So Monday at 8, Tuesday at 9. So stay plugged in. It's all on your calendar in your back office. But just know that that's the monthly calendar. That's part of our system. The first Monday of every month, the product call at 8 o'clock. Same conference number. The first Tuesday of every month is our monthly kickoff call. The third Tuesday of every month, after the commission run has been done for the previous month, we have our monthly corporate leadership call with recognition and those things. So stay plugged in. The importance of staying plugged in. You get filled up. You get encouraged. If things are going well, they're going to go better. If you're having a couple challenging days, or maybe a challenging week where things, maybe it's life, or maybe it's with your, V&I business, some things haven't fallen in place that you wanted, then plug in and get fueled back up. Get encouraged, get inspired, never hyped, encouraged and inspired based on sound principles. And we will never be a company of hype. So the importance of stay plugged into your upline, your success coaches, the calls that they're doing. Have a periodic call. I mean, I recommend at least once a week if you're actively engaged in building, at least once a week. Now, if you're building, you're more than likely doing 3-way calls every week with your upline coaches. Hopefully that's more than one. You've got a whole team of people, myself included, that are available to help you build. And we're not going to do it for you. We'll do it with you. And so stay plugged into your support system, your success coaches that are there to help you. Stay plugged into your website, your back office and your marketing website with the news feed. Stay plugged into the emails and the text messages that the company communicates. We're very intentional not to over communicate, meaning three emails a day and that kind of stuff. We never send more than one a day, but it's always relevant. And so stay plugged in. Make sure you've opted into the text messages and whatever your preferred method, whether it's email or text, stay plugged in. So that's a real important principle, whether you're brand new or whether you're one of our top leaders. Stay plugged in. And number 2 is do something positive every day to grow your business. Do something positive. I'm typing this every day to grow your V&I business. Now, what do we mean by that? We mean consistency. So if you're taking notes, the key word is consistency. Consistency creates momentum, and momentum is sustained through consistency. So, if you'll just do a little bit every day, do a little bit today, rinse and repeat. Do a little bit tomorrow. Might be one phone call. might be inviting one person to taste a Protovite moment and share and handing them a brochure. It might be inviting one person to watch the video. It might be a follow-up, but do one thing, do something positive every day to grow and expand your V&I impact. And folks, when you do that, there's a compounding effect. You'll be amazed at what can happen in 30 days, in 60 days, in 90 days, in 120 days. Consistency creates momentum, and momentum is sustained through consistency. So those are 2 tips. We mention them every week because they're that important. And let me give you the reverse of that. The reverse of that. Sometimes in my career in this space, there have been wonderful, and those y'all leaders, you know exactly what I'm getting ready to share as I share it. There are wonderfully talented men and women that have the ability to make such a contribution with our mission and bless people, build a giant customer base and a big partner team and make such an impact. And sometimes, not always, but sometimes people don't do what they're capable of doing. And usually it's one of these 2 success principles that's missing. They either isolate and try to be a lone ranger. And I'm going to tell you, with all due respect, it's men that do that more than our wonderful female partners. I call it the rugged individualist. I'm going to do it my, kind of Frank Sinatra my way. and I don't need to plug in. I don't need anybody to coach me or teach me or tell me or encourage me, or I'm not big on recognition. Usually the people that say I'm not big on recognition are the very ones that are starving for it. Just so you know, there's a leadership tip. That doesn't mean hype. That means encouragement and recognition for a job well done. Every one of us, we're human beings. What makes this business challenging from a leadership perspective is what's between our ears. We all have baggage, certainly myself included. And so the beautiful thing about this business is we want to create with our customers and our partners a culture of encouragement, a genuine respect, dignity for the individual. And that's one of the things that I promise you we're committed to at the corporate level. That's obviously, those of you that know Bill and Kim Downs, that's who they are. It's their heart is as big as their vision for helping people, and that's who we want to be. That's the DNA, the foundation of who we are as a company and a brand and our mission. And so recognize the importance of counseling, coaching people. If they're sincere in their vision with V&I, staying plugged in is not optional. The people that isolate, that are rugged individualists, that are the Lone Rangers, I never see them last. They disappear. They just fade away because no one can go it alone. We're not designed as human beings to go it alone. So the other issue is a lack of consistency. I've seen talented men and women engage and they'll hit it hard for a couple days, couple weeks, maybe even a month, and then they'll disappear for 4 or 6 weeks or 2 months or 3 months, and then they'll engage for a few weeks and they'll disappear for another month. And there's such an inconsistency in their engagement that their business never takes root. It's like, think about this. If I wanted to grow a garden and let's say I was diligent in the way I sowed and planted the seeds, okay? But I watered the seeds that I planted 2-3 days in a row. And then I take a week and a half off. And then I come back and water. Then I could take another week off. And I water for 3 days in a row. And then I take a week off. What's going to happen? And obviously y'all are 5 steps ahead of me. What's going to happen is you're going to have a garden, quote unquote, full of weeds. And whatever you planted is long gone. And the same is true in our business. So consistency is the key. Now, with that, I'm going to ask our illustrious leaders, Ed and Gina Bender, put your video on and turn your mics on. We've got just great content lined up for you for all of us the rest of the time here. I'm hearing whispering, but I'm not seeing the video.
We are working on.
Oh, okay.
Trying to figure out.
Well, here's what's interesting. While Ed and Gina now they've used Zoom about 3,000 times, so I'm not sure but it's all good. They'll figure it out. When you're the top income earners in the world of V&I, you can figure out the Zoom platform.
For some For some reason, the video
Hey,
is not coming up.
this isn't scripted. When we say anybody can do this business, we mean it. You don't, and that's not a de-edification. That means you don't have to be a technical guru. Because this is a platform that they've used 100 times. Oh.
And I don't know why.
The mute of the video is in the bottom left. Remember, start videos bottom left.
Yeah, we know that. We've clicked on it, but for some reason, Jeff, the video is up, but
So
it's not coming
let's
up.
just look at you, Jeff, and we'll talk.
Okay.
What you probably need to do if you haven't rebooted your computer, and folks, let me tell you, let's turn this into a leadership lesson.
Okay.
If you use Zooms or any kind of software, before you do a live event, you always want to reboot your computer. Because what happens is if there's lots of windows open, then the software is pulling your computer in a different direction. So the safest thing to do is always reboot. So Ed and Gina, why don't y'all reboot? I'll look for you to come back on.
Okay, and then just add us back on, Jeff.
Yeah, exactly. So bear with us, folks. Well, this is worth it. We got a lot of good information to share. So let's let Ed and Gina reboot. And by the way, while they're waiting to do that, I have to see when they join, and then promote them to speakers. So thanks for your patience. That growth that we talked about, that we alluded to, we're going to give more specifics in the upcoming few days. All of that growth is in Ed and Gina's business. So I want you to understand that. And I want them to hear that as I officially welcome them back on the trainings here. So hold one second. They're going to be rebooting. Let me move on to a couple of things. All right. So, and then we'll kind of stop and bring Ed and Gina back into the conversation. So one of the things that we're going to focus on with today's training is beginning the month properly. And whether you're a brand new partner or whether you're one of our top leaders, it's important to recognize, at least in my career, I've built everything that I've been blessed to build with the customer base and building global teams. My focus always was 30-day sprints. And all of my leaders and emerging leaders that I've developed over the years, nationally, across the U.S. and internationally, even part-time leaders, the focus was always 30-day sprints. And a sprint, again, is dependent on your goals. So a sprint for one of the members of the team might be, I'm going to work a few hours a week. The sprint for somebody else is I might work a few hours a day. And then, of course, we always have some full-time leaders that have built a business over a number of years and have advanced further. So the idea is every month, here's the tip, that every month you want to make sure that you're starting your month with a plan. So said differently, what do I want to accomplish in the month of June? Here it is, June 1st. What do I want to accomplish in the month of June? Hey, we see y'all.
You do? Okay, awesome.
That's how it works. That turned into a good leadership lesson for everyone, seriously.
Absolutely, and that's happened one time before, so lesson well learned. Next time I will reboot my computer.
And I'm not saying it's Gina's fault, but it was Gina's fault.
He asked me if I was ready, and I said, yes, I'm ready, but, I didn't turn my camera on prior to test, so I apologize, Jeff.
No worries. Listen, hey, when in doubt, reboot. That's all. I've worked with some software developers in some of my traditional business ventures over the years, and the first thing, these people speak like Bill when he gets scientific. They're so far above my head, you can't even see, and the first thing they always do is if I'm like one of my former partners from Europe in a traditional business venture over 10 years ago was an amazing coder. He would write code. He was a software developer. And I would have problems with my first iPhone. And I would mention his name and I would say, I would Skype him or whatever. I'd say, listen, what's going on? He'd say, have you rebooted your phone? And 9 times out of 10, 95 out of 100, that fixed it. So anyway, good stuff. All right, so we were talking about the month well, first of all, let me back up. I shared as y'all were rejoining us the importance of Well, I actually shared even at the very beginning when y'all said left that all of that growth, new associate managers, new executive managers, new directors, new executive directors, all of that growth in the month of May was in your business. You know, I don't think people know this, but I want to make sure they know it. 99% of all of VNI is Ed and Gina's business, because y'all built 99.8% of the company. And that includes all the leaders that y'all have assembled. So I know y'all are big on giving the credit. So anyway, congratulations on some wonderful progress in the month of May.
Thank you.
We had a super month. You're correct.
Yeah. And you know, the dust hasn't settled on the numbers. I looked last night. I didn't even look this morning. It was gosh, before I went to dinner with my fiance, it was probably about 7:30, and y'all were sitting at about 20% month over month growth from April. And I know it's going to be beyond that. So anyway, that's your leadership, your hard work.
What's funny is we were Googling it because we didn't know how to figure that, but we were trying to figure it ourselves. So we do the
I said, yes, Ed, come in here and share with me how to do this. So you don't have to be a rocket scientist.
Nope.
And thank goodness for Google, because next to Ed, and one thing I want to mention too, Jeff, and congratulations on becoming engaged. We think that's awesome. And one of the major key things to success is marrying the right person.
Exactly.
Really marrying the right person.
So well said. Well said. Well, I'm blessed. And for those of you that were at the Empower event for the awards recognition ceremony celebration Saturday night, y'all got to meet, many of you got to meet Sarah, and obviously Ed and Gina, y'all know Sarah very well, because we've traveled together, but it's an exciting time. And so I guess, you know, again, we're not going to let specifics, because Tuesday night's call, we're going to share some of the specific names, not all of some of the rank advancers, and we're going to have them on with us. But what do you, before we set the sales for June, let me just ask y'all a couple questions. I know, as y'all do, that growth that you're experiencing in May is, and that y'all, if you're brand new, this is going to sound interesting. It's maybe a little strange. The growth that Ed and Gina and that the company had experienced in May is not because of all the hard work that occurred in May. Think about that for our, again, I'm Ed and Gina, thanks for following my lead on this. Y'all are pausing. So for all, if you're taking notes, consider that, ponder on that. The growth that, and I'll speak specifically Ed and Gina's business, the growth for the company in May, everybody worked hard in May, passionate. You know, it's not working hard when you love what you do, but we're engaged in a mission of helping people. And we all worked hard in May, but that growth in May was not because of the work in May. The crop that, or the garden that grows today, is not from the work that you do watering the plants today. It's from the seeds you planted 60, 90, 120 days ago. Mm-hmm. And so give us a little insight, that consistency over the last number of months of putting the team together, of nurturing that team. I mean, just whatever you want to share that for our, maybe our newer partners, and maybe even those quotes would be of value as well.
That's what I'd love to share, Jeff, because I think what you said is absolutely right. You know, this is, first of all, it's team together, everyone achieves more. So it was a team effort. It wasn't just Ed and me or you or the corporate team. It was all of us working together. But I did think about it this morning, and I love listening to John Maxwell. He's an awesome, leader, motivator. And so I wrote down a few quotes, and one of them I want to share that I think will help people to understand, one of the keys to becoming successful. It says, the secret of your success is determined by your daily agenda. So I want to repeat that again. The secret of your success is determined by your daily agenda. So it's, what are you going to do when your feet hit the floor in the morning? Are you going to put Victory Nutrition on the back burner? Or are you going to put together a game plan of what you want to get accomplished today? And we have many leaders listening in that treat this like a business. And, when Ed and I made the decision from day one that we were going to work with Bill and Kim and work with the customer care and the corporate team to help build this wonderful company, we decided from day one, hey, this is what we want to do. We didn't look at it as a pastime or spare time or part-time business. We looked at it as this is what we want to do to give us a plan A, not a plan B, but a plan A for us. Because actually when we got started, Ed had to take a full-time job. His mom was very seriously ill. We didn't know if she was going to live or die. We were living with her. We had challenges just like many, many people. We had lost a six-figure income with the previous business, but we had the passion, the desire, the belief in Bill and Kim, and knew Bill's passion was to help people. And knowing him for very, very many years, we knew that we could all work together and build something great just by sharing and caring. So Ed, would you like to?
Yeah, the thing I want to add is this, I equate it to like kids and grandkids. I mean, how excited are you for your grandkid to graduate kindergarten? And, the steps that we're taking are just like that. We're excited every time somebody graduates kindergarten, or in this instance, a PIM position. We are truly excited for that individual. It's almost more exciting than us doing it ourselves. I've often told you, Jeff, we wanted to hit an ambassador, status because we want to show people that they can also hit that. But it wasn't anything about us. We didn't really, the position, it's nice to be recognized as an ambassador, but we want to show people that they can do that and crown ambassador and beyond when we create other PIN positions, because we're going to have to as time goes on. But it's nice to see the people in your organization doing the same things you did. I can remember when we did our first, PIM position in the company, there was very little recognition. Nobody even knew what the company was or why the products worked like they did or anything. So it's real exciting to see people take the steps, go through first grade, go through second grade, go through third grade, and we're graduating people. And that's exactly what I equated to, is graduating people through the company. And I'll never forget one time when my grandkid said something to me, and I said, "How old are you?" And he said, 5. I said, "And how old am I?" He said, "Well, 55. I said, "Well, think about how many more years I've lived than you've lived. So you got to understand, I know more than you know." And we're trying to shove the information into people, help the people get the information they need to know as quickly as they possibly can absorb it. But sometimes it takes a little while. So, it's really a phenomenal way to teach people and help people. What we're doing today is part of that.
That's so important. That's such, I'm putting celebrate incremental progress, but there's more to it. What both of you just said. And then I want to come back to your next quote, Gina. So what's interesting is to your point, both of your points, but Ed, what you were just talking about, the idea of, I'm going to use different words, but blazing a trail.
Yep.
Okay. The importance of when the two of you are coaching your team as ambassadors, go and crown ambassador, there's moral authority, there's integrity in your coaching. Because if you're helping one of your partners go from associate manager to manager, or from director to executive director, like the two that you helped make that big jump in the month of May, there's power in your coaching because you're helping your team do what you've already done. And so there's relatability there. That's the importance for everyone that's taking notes of always lead by example. Well done is better than well said. The best way you can coach your team is if they ask a question, how do you share, V&I with a new person? Well, how did I share V&I with you? Mm-hmm. And you got to make sure you're doing what you say. So there's an opportunity for improvement there on all of our parts. I know that from experience from the past, but you want to make sure that you're setting the example. How do you follow up with people? Well, how did I follow up with you? Your example sets the tone and the pace for your entire team. And when you are focused on going to that next pin level, to Ed's point, Ed and Gina are laser focused. They have a plan on going crown ambassador. Yeah, yes, they have personal and family reasons for that growth and hitting that next milestone. But the bigger motivation is because it proves that if they can do it, everyone that's in the team can do it if you're willing to pay the price. And that's exciting. So celebrate the incremental progress, lead by example. If you want your team to make a greater contribution and rank advance to a new pin level, then you need to rank advance to a new pin level. That's the big, for some of our incumbent leaders that have been with the company and been such an important part of this mission with Ed and Gina and Bill and Kim since the very beginning. Some of you, the best thing you could do is roll up your sleeves, go back to work like you did day one, and rank advance and watch what happens to your team. So anyway, Gina, back to you.
Yeah, absolutely, Jeff. Greatly said. So I want to share another quote, if that's okay.
Yes.
This one is by John Maxwell as well. And it says, the best way a mentor can prepare another leader is to expose him or her to other great people. So I want to repeat it so everybody that might have not quite got it the first time. The best way a mentor can prepare another leader is to expose him or her to other great people. So, you know, we talk about this all the time. If you want success, get to know your upline, your success coaches, you know, your corporate team, you, Jeff, because you are reaching out and working with the leaders and doing the three-way calls. Three-way is so important. I want to give a shout out to Bob Hoffman this morning, who's one of our up-and-coming new leaders. We have a three-way set up today at 2 o'clock. So Bob reached out to me. I had another brand new person reach out to me yesterday. And this morning, I had another leader reach out to me that is out there doing it this morning and has already exposed it to 3 people and signed up 1 lady. And that's our awesome leader, new leader, Mike Dannenberg. He's brought a new doctor in that has 700 patients. So he's out there doing it. So when he got up this morning, he didn't think, oh, what am I going to do today? He's a make it happen person. So if you want success, make it happen, but grab hold of the coattails of the people that are already out there doing it.
That's perfect. I love it.
What else can I say?
I'm ditto. That's well said. That's strong. I love it.
Grab a team partner and do it together. Don't try to go to the top by yourself, because it's going to be sad up there if nobody's there to celebrate with you.
Yeah, that's correct.
The power of the team, the power of association. And
Exactly.
Jim Rohn used to say, you know, we are the sum total of the things we read, the things we listen to, and the people we associate with.
Do you remember when we were in the Bahamas and you were talking about, Bill was talking about how he started the company, his mission, and you were talking about how you come to the company, and I said, wait a minute, guys, you got to remember, I'm the one that put this all together.
That's right. You're the
It had a vision.
That's right, because I had a vision 20 years ago about this company. I just didn't share it with all of you.
That's a great example. I mean, it's the power of association. I mean, you know, I think everyone knows this. Ed and Gina called me in February, March of 2016 and said, we really, you know, at that point, you know, Jeff, we've known each other for 20 years. You know, we just want to introduce you to Bill and Kim. They're extraordinary people, and we're embarking on something special. So that's a perfect example, Ed, of the power of association. Yep. And when you're inviting, when you're sharing the V&I mission with people, that's why you don't want to hold back from your closest colleagues and friends and family members. It doesn't mean they're going to be interested in the products or the business. It just means share it, put it in front of them. And we're going to talk more about that in a minute. Okay, so that was powerful. Okay, Gina, what's next?
Okay, so my next one, again by John Maxwell, is educators take something simple and make it complicated. Communicators take something complicated and make it simple. So again, I'll repeat it. Educators take something simple and make it complicated. Communicators take something complicated and make it simple. So be a communicator. Don't be an educator. I can't be Jeff Hooks. I can't be Bill Downs. I can't even be Ed Bender. I can only be me. But I don't want to know all the ingredients and all the products. I just want to communicate that information out and use our awesome tools that we have to deliver the message. And really, guys, we only have one little video, the live blood cell video in the beginning, but that video communicated what we couldn't verbally. You know, I think a picture is worth 1,000 words. A video is worth 1,000,000 words. So if you have not seen the awesome new videos that Jeff and the corporate team have put together, you're missing it. We have the perfect tools now to share that message.
And not only if you haven't seen them, if you haven't used them, you're missing a boat. That's the key. They're all free. I forget which leader we were talking to the other day, but they were saying something about the tools. And I was told them there was awesome tools, and I said, for $1,500, you could get my training program on a monthly basis. And I'm thinking,
Then we said not.
We don't try to sell our tools. Even the company doesn't try.
They're free.
They're free. You don't get that in other companies. They're going to charge you for everything. They do like that, and we're just not that type of company. We want you to have the information, convey the information to others.
And I want to say too, Jeff, before I forget, the video is so powerful, but we have literally hundreds and thousands of people that have touched the V&I products that still have not seen these videos. I mean, go back to the people that you originally shared this with and say, have you got just 5 minutes? I have got to share this with you, and get them to go to the website and have them watch it. I did a training the other day with two leaders that have been in since the beginning, and one of them had seen the video, and both of them are in Canada. The other one had not seen the video. People have busy lives. So I sent the video out, the 10-minute video, to all my personally sponsored. I had 2 people so excited. One was brand new that said, wow, I can share this with everyone. The other guy that had not engaged in several years got really excited and said, wow, the timing is perfect. Now I'm ready to get going. And, he's working the business. Both are. But, get out there to the people you originally exposed this to. I don't take anybody off my list. I just say timing might not be right, and they just don't know enough yet to say yes and move forward. But the timing is perfect, Jeff. We are going to hit momentum. Well, I guess we're what in pre-momentum now, but we're seeing so much growth. We know it's going to happen. I can just feel that rocket ready to take off.
Go ahead, Ed, please.
I was talking to my brother the other day, and by the way, he's one of our customers, and was, asking me to put him on an automatic monthly subscription for the product, and I did. But I was sharing with him, I said, we've grown at some points during the month as much as 30%. And he said, wow. Now, he's a traditional businessman, but he really said, wow. He said, Ed, 30% growth in any business, much less the business that you're in, is phenomenal. And, you're kicking out numbers. 20% is what we are month over month from last month. But at one point, and I want this to be said too, Gina and I were done far before last night as far as our pin position in the company. We were ambassadors probably on Thursday and had no need to keep on pushing for any more volume, except we wanted other people to go where we've been. We had, and we worked up to 12 o'clock last night. I think the last one we did last night.
Yeah. I thought I was done about 12:15, and I said, well, do you think I'll get any more calls?
No, it's about 10 to 12.
No, well, I mean, I didn't think we were going to get any more calls. So I crawl into bed and
11:15.
Yeah, 11:15. And then my phone starts flashing. So I jump up and I go in here and I get back on the computer and I help another leader close out the month. And we worked right up till 12 and closed out the month, and they were qualified. And, so leaders do what leaders have to do to help others become successful.
But
too.
my point is, we were done. We didn't have to, but at 12 o'clock last night, Gina was in here at the computer. I was in, and she said, what should I do? I said, well,
yeah, that's it. And folks, people want to, so this was as of yesterday morning. Month over month growth, I said over 20% for y'all, but as of yesterday morning, now that's with one full day left, we were 23% month over month growth in sales. We were 15% month over month growth in total orders, total product orders. we were 32% month over month growth in enrollment of new customers and new partners. That's a big one, 32%. We were up 12% month over month in active subscriptions, and that's on top of some really dramatic subscription growth for our customers and partners previously, January, February, March, and April. Builder packs, 275% up.
Wow.
And new customer, new partner, first order volume up 61%.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. And so people say, how does that happen? What y'all were just describing, helping that individual person take that next step, get qualified, go associate manager, and replicating that, build the model, replicate the model as everybody else continues from a leadership standpoint and a leadership development standpoint to do what the two of you are doing. That's how you create growth. Many hands make light work. It's the whole team doing a little bit every day. It's so powerful. Okay, any more quotes? Because we got a lot to cover.
One more quote.
Yes.
Okay. Time is more valuable than money because time is irreplaceable. So again, time is more valuable than money because time is irreplaceable. So again, that goes back to the first quote. You know, what do you do when your feet hit the floor? You only have so much hours and time in a day. You don't want to waste a second. You want to build a business, something you can be proud of. And, you know, we look at this as we know this company is solid. We know that Bill's not going to ever sell the company. We're going to have a business that we can build together and hand down to our kids or grandkids. And that's why we put time into this, so we can enjoy the time freedom and do what we want to do. You know, I got a lot of going on this next week. I have appointments every day, and I'll be traveling a couple of days. But you know what? I got a phone, got a laptop. I can work anywhere I want to. In fact, one of my Zoom calls will be Monday night, but prior to the product call, and it'll be a call to a leader in the Philippines that's moving back here in 9 months, but he has tons of contacts here, so he can go on and start building here. So really, you can work anywhere as long as you got time, and as long as you have a phone, a computer.
That's it, and a U.S. address.
Don't have a computer. As long as you got an upline that's willing to help you, you can do it too, because we have, you know, Amish that doesn't have computers, and we help them too.
Now the beauty of that is, guess what? He lived most of his life in Virginia Beach area, but he absolutely has lived the last 5 years over in the Philippines. So what did he do over there? He made a lot of contacts. And are we going worldwide? Yes.
One day.
One day we will.
No question. That's so good. So, you know, it's stewardship. It's productivity. It's productivity versus activity. It's when you put that foot on the ground in the morning and during the day, it's make sure that, you know, that's time, back to your last quote, which is a wonderful reminder for all of us that once time is invested or wasted, it's gone. And so that ties into everything we've been talking about. It's so powerful. All right, I want to transition, and I want to kind of, so when it comes to a monthly plan, folks, we're going to keep it real simple. Your plan for May. Now, you want to get with your upline success coaches over the next couple of days. And I'm a big believer in having a real focused plan. It can be simple. It doesn't have to be very complex. Again, you know, simple, not complex. Leaders take complex things and make it simple. Educators sometimes do the opposite, you know, make simple things complex. So we're not trying to impress. We're not trying to bloviate. We're not trying to, you know, impress people with that we're mini Bill Downs and we, you know, can go into the liposome layers and the protozomin and the nutrition that gets in. That's what we're talking about. And you take this, it gets into your body, it nourishes your body to cellular level. You're going to love it. It's blessing thousands of customers all around the U.S. and Canada. You ought to try it for 90 days. You know, simple is better than complex. So with that being said, for everybody, your plan for the month of May should really be focused on a goal. To me, at its essence for the V&I mission is a pin level with a date attached to it. You know, we have our partners that are set, and I want to add, you know, so your June goal might be this. I want to add 3 personal customers, and I want to rank advance from associate manager to manager. That might be your goal. And then you put a plan in place, an activity plan that ties into exposure. How many new people are you going to share the V&I products and business with on a daily and a weekly basis through June. And then you help your team, all your key partners, do exactly the same thing. So that everybody, and folks, write it down and share it with your team, your core leaders of your team and your core partners. And you've got individual game plans, and then you've got a shared vision for what you want to accomplish with your team in the month of June. Any feedback, anything, because I want to transition the rest of our time to inviting, sharing, and follow up. So anything on the June game plan. We're going to go, by the way, just so you know, folks, we're going to go about 10 minutes long because we've got some really specific coaching that I don't want you really need to hear this as we hit into June. But what do y'all have to say about a monthly goal for June?
Well, I just want to say this real quick, since you were talking about, what do you want to do as far as like your next pin rank and all. This is the honest truth. I won't say their names because we're saving it, but our two new executive directors, both of them told me, one this morning, one yesterday, uncoached, my next goal is to get to vice president, and I'm not letting up, and I'm going to get there as fast as I can. So that was from both of them, one yesterday and one this morning. So I think it's awesome. They get it. They're on track. They know the mission. And, it's just, they started like all of us. They put together a list. They worked their list. And if you're brand new listening, that's where it starts. Put together a list. Work your list. Find out who you can do three-way calls with. A lot of our partners are customers, and we love all our customers. But do reach out if you don't know your upline team leaders. Contact customer care. They'll put you in touch, with Jeff, with us, and the ones in between. They're out here doing it.
And the beauty of it is, Gina and I set goals every day. Yeah, and literally we do every day. And we're looking for new partners and new customers, like we've always done. But we try to put numbers on the board ourselves. The problem is sometimes the other people in the organization interfere with that because they've got their 3 people. And when you take 10 people that got their 3 people, that's 30 people plus the ones we're trying to get a hold of. And it's fun. I mean, it really is fun, but it becomes a little bit challenging for us to get back to what our goals are because we're helping people hit their goals. And it's a good problem to have, but it's fun.
But I want to say this too real quick, Jeff, because I know we're on a time limit. I love your saying break zero. Ed and I broke zero this past month with 2 great new people. Both of them came in with sharing grow packs. And, just don't prejudge people. That's why it's important. If you're brand new, get with your upline success coach. Get them to do those 3-way calls with you, and you will experience success a lot more quickly than trying to do it on your own.
I love it. That's so strong. All right, so that's a perfect segue. We couldn't have scripted that better. All right, so when you have your June goal in this case, as of this live training, we're setting the sales for June. The mindset for those of you that are maybe a little bit newer to the VNI family, the mindset as you start embarking on sharing VNI with new people, the mindset, I just sent it to the chat bar, is make a friend. Find a need, transfer the feeling, or share the feeling. Okay? That's so what does that mean? That means we could go deeper in that, but we're not going to for today. But make a friend means relationships first. Always. Nurture the relationship first. Never be transactional with people. When you're reconnecting with an acquaintance that you haven't talked to in 5 or 10 or 15 years, don't call them and immediately start pitching them on VNI. I'll tell you what I do, what I've done historically and what I've taught in the past is, let's say Ed and Gina, I wanted to share VNI with Ed and Gina. I'll just role play real quick, just one way. And I would say, hey, and I haven't talked to Ed and Gina maybe in 3 years. All right. I want to honor the relationship, make a friend. But I also want to let them know that I actually got something pretty excited. It's just like Ed was very straightforward when he called me. He and Gina, when they reached out to introduce me to Bill and Kim and to VNI in early 2016, he wasn't duplicitous. He didn't backdoor me. He didn't invite me to lunch and then have a presentation. He was very straightforward. So we caught up. It was a very honest catch up and then very straightforward. Look, I really want to introduce you to some people that are very special. We're embarking on something that's that's really going to be extraordinary. And these products, on and on. So the idea is what I have done in the past. And then, when we share ideas, take what you like and discard the rest. But I always want to honor the relationship. So in the example, if I were, going to share VNI with Ed and Gina, and we haven't talked in years, I might say something like this. I get Ed and Gina both on the phone. Hey, Ed, listen, Gina, I've got something really important I want to run by you. But before we get into that, how's the family?
Yeah,
how things going on? So it's just very, very, so always, honor that relationship. And I want to move forward, and then I'm going to toss the ball to Ed, to you and Gina, and y'all can come back on any of this. But back to, so when you have the mindset of relationships first, it's about contribution. It's about sharing and caring, as Gina said, with a smile on your face and love in your heart, consistent with your personality. So if you're an introvert, be proud to be an introvert. If you're an extrovert, if you tell corny jokes, if you don't like jokes, just be you, be authentic, because that comes through. And we learn from each other, but you want to be authentic. We want to be the best versions of ourselves the way God made us. And so when you're sharing VNI, have a mindset in the month of June and I'm going to send this in the chat bar, as Gina just said, break the zero. Okay, break the zero should be on everyone's plan for the month of June. Everyone's plan for the month of June should say, I'm going to break the zero. What does that mean? That means no goose eggs in terms of personal productivity. At the very least, bring in one new preferred customer, or one new partner, at the very least, with a product order on a subscription. That's the goal. And if obviously many of y'all's goals are far greater than that. And by the way, if you bring on a new preferred customer, the first week of June, then I would raise the bar. All right, I'm going to break the zero again. Lead by example. Do what you want your people doing, and then always have the mindset of contribution, of helping people. Now, here's what we're going to spend the rest of our time on, y'all. And we're going to spend it on the process of exposure. And I'm going to send this in the chat bar. And we're going to go a little bit deeper on this. The way, so the goal is to share VNI with new people on a consistent basis. Okay. And the process of sharing that kind of simplifies it is right there in the chat bar. You invite people to take a look at VNI. You share some information. It's about education even more than presentation, and follow up. Invite, share, follow up. We're looking for people that are looking. Better health physically with the products, better health financially. So let's start with the invitation, Ed and Gina. What tips from your experience and again, when you're connecting with people, you're listening for needs, there's not one patented invitation that works. There's not one script that you use on everybody. That's not the way to do it. We want you to lead with the heart. But what are your tips on the invitation, where you're first inviting, just like you did with me in early 2016, from the heart, you're inviting people, not because of what's in it for you, but because of what's in it for them, to learn about VNI. What tips would y'all have from your great experience?
The first tip is, Jeff, I don't know how many people would have actually put you on their chicken list, where they were scared to contact Jeff Hooks because he was so far out of the stratosphere. Nobody believed you'd join anything. I mean, really, because you were a consultant. You were a guru in the industry. You'd already done it. I mean, built major organizations. A lot of people would have said, he's unapproachable. I didn't. I said, that's Jeff Hooks, and I'm going after him. I wanted to be in this company because we need him in this company. We need a lot of people in this company. We need everybody. We need customers. We need other people that want to be vice presidents and presidential directors and ambassadors in this company. They're there. They're looking for us. We just got to expose it to them. So, my simple way is just the videos that we just introduced at the convention were phenomenal tools that people should be sharing every day. I heard what you had happening. I've got something that I think would interest you. Let me send you a video, and point them in the direction of the video. Let the video do the work. if they're not willing to watch a video, how viable are they? I mean, they might not watch it right away. They might put it on the shelf and not watch it for another month. But at some point, they got to watch the video. And then the key is just to tell them, well, I want to get started in this. How do I do it? Tell them, how did I expose you to it? Did I tell you everything about the products and all the ingredients and the wonderful stuff? I said, first thing I did was send you to a video. You could do that day one with anybody. Videos make it much more easy to do in this company.
Yeah, and teacher, and you're going to be a lot more successful if you work in your warm market. We've stayed 99% in our warm market. And then we get into our partners' warm market and help them. And one of the big keys is in the follow-up. So Jeff, I hope you're going to speak on that too.
Yeah, we'll come back to the follow-up. So let's focus invite, share for a couple more minutes, and then the rest of our time on follow-up. So the invitation and the sharing, if you'll think of, I want y'all, for those that, and for those that are plugged in over the phone, try to visualize this with me. Look at the chat bar. Make a friend, find a need, share the feeling. And think about how that ties into our exposure process of invite, share, follow up. Okay, the invitation, again, it's sharing, not selling.
Exactly.
And so when you make a friend and find a need, when you're really listening and focused, and you'll the more you do this, the better you're going to get. So don't put pressure on yourself. Again, we always talk about it's about progress, not perfection within the VNI family. We all get better the more we do stuff, and we're going to make mistakes. And it's John Maxwell calls that failing forward. It's all good. Mistakes aren't going to hurt. You're not getting nobody's, it's all good. There's very rarely a call that I have where I don't look back and, as the military say, have an after action review and say, you know what, I could have done that better. We're all learning, but just relax, share and care with a smile on your face, love in your heart, good intentions. Let the tools do the work, to Ed's point. And when you invite and share, keep in mind the needs of the person. So if I've talked to a friend who has said, I've just gone on a health kick. My diet's this. I'm starting to walk a mile a day, and say, hey, listen, Bill or Susan, as I listen to you with this game plan on wellness, I have aligned myself with a company, a nutritional sciences company that is like nothing I've ever seen. I mean, peer-reviewed, published science on their products. My family and I've been taking the products, have experienced amazing results. I've got about a 5-minute video. I'd love to have you take a look at this, because I really think these products can help you get what you want out of your wellness journey. That's just an example of how to invite and share. And then you send them the video with a link to your website. And then we'll get back to the follow-up, Gina, to your point. But when you share, keep in mind you do have to follow up. These all are connected. Because many times, just because I push send in an email or a text and forward a video, doesn't mean, even if I've connected the dots and created some interest, doesn't mean life hadn't gotten in the way and they haven't watched the video. So I go a step further, and I would say, so if I'm talking to Mary in that same scenario, so Mary, I'm going to forward you this 5-minute video. When can you watch it? That's how I do it. When can I get a commit? When can you watch it? And then I stop talking. When can you watch it? Well, I can watch it right now. Okay, great. After you watch it, give me a quick call back. I want to connect the dots for you. Or I watch it tonight. Great. What time? Roughly what time? I know you've got your children. About 8 o'clock. Okay, great. Do me a favor. Why don't we talk at 8:30? Mm-hmm. That's the way you tie in the invite, share, follow up. And let me finish a couple thoughts, Ed and Gina. I'm going to toss it back to y'all. So here's the key. You want to move people, I'm sending this in the chat bar, to what I call a good yes or a good no. Okay? You want to move people to a good yes or a good no. In other words, an informed decision. And recognize that no simply means no for now. No means know for now, meaning that the timing might not be right. And that's okay. It's a process. So I've covered a lot. Let me give one more tip, and then I'm going to have Ed and Gina bring us home on any of this. Invite, share, follow up. That one of the key things on the follow up is I use a bridge phrase that that has been helpful over the years. The next step is, okay, so you want to move people forward. So if I've shared the video with Mary and I follow up, hey, what did you think about what you saw and heard? And they say, well, I loved it. It sounds like amazing. Well, great. Listen, the next step is I want to introduce you to a couple of my partners that have built a customer base all over the US and Canada, and they can really answer some questions on these products. What's your schedule look like later tonight or tomorrow? And then I'm going to put them on a 3-way call with my director, preferably a director or at least executive manager or above, to help answer questions. So you want to move people forward. Again, education more than presentation. And here's the key, folks, that simple process. The more you do it with the more people in the month of June, there's no secret word that's going to bring on customers. It's share and expose, say less to more people. And the more you do that process, invite, share, follow up with the more different people, and the more your team does that as part of your June plan, the faster your business is going to grow. All right, Ed and Gina, I want y'all to bring it home, take the time that you need, and cover invite, share, follow up.
Okay, well, I love what you said about say less to more people. That's the key in building this business. If you're looking at building the business, again, it's going to start with the inviting, which is going to begin with the list, and then you've got to get it out there. I mean, we teach, when you put your list together, you need at least 100 people on that list. If you're only going to put 2 or 3, what's going to happen if they say no, timing might not be right, or whatever, you think you failed. As John Maxwell says, you're going to fail forward, but you're going to have a whole lot more success if you've got more people on that list and you expose them to the products. Lead with the products, lead with the science. We have learned the hard way. We've made a lot of mistakes. We've had to fall forward. And I can tell you, it doesn't matter, how much science and information's out there. Lead with it, but I'm telling you, people want to experience the products. So that's why I say lead with the products. Don't just call them up and say, hey, I got this great business opportunity, because they may not be interested in a business, but everybody needs these awesome products. You can always expose them to the second video, the 10-minute video, where they can pick up that we have had success. We have other leaders on that share just little tidbits to plant that seed that they can, start sharing and caring and experience thank you checks. That's where it started with us, was sharing and caring and exposing, and we did it with a list. And what we did was we just dialed for dollars. We just started calling people. We were getting our leaders to do 3-ways with us, and we'll always be here to help you do the 3-way calls. But you have to make you have to take the first step. We can't do it for you. I've helped a lot of people close. And I'm very sweet on the phone. I'm not a hard closer. I just love people, and I want them, I'm going to share with them, and I'm going to show them how easy it is by teaching them, by them listening, how they can close their people, to order and to have success. So you'd like to add?
I would just say this, one close, you just say close. One of the things I know you do, because I've heard you, and also Ed and I've talked about it, is, you say, listen, let's get you started on the product immediately. Let's get your product order together. So you just lead them into action. It's not like this big thing. You're not asking for the business. You're saying, great, you're ready. You're ready to get started on the product immediately. Let's get your order placed and get your subscription set up. And people are following your lead because they're already, you're leading them in the direction they want to go. That's beautiful.
Yeah, exactly. And one thing that I do add sometimes, now that we have the preferred customer program, I don't have to add this, but I do still some with my 3-ways is I'll let them know, hey, by the way, you're going to love these supplements, and you're going to see results. And, you know, if you know other people that you love and care about that, you know, could benefit from these supplements too, let us know. We'll show you how that the company will help you earn thank you checks. We would rather pay you a thank you check than, you know, pay out expensive TV or radio advertising. So I'm not saying money or you're going to earn a big check or anything like that. I'm just doing a soft close to expose them to plant that seed that, hey, if it works for me, I got other people out there who could, you know, use these supplements too, and it'll help pay for their product.
Word of mouth advertising has always been the best type of advertising, and it's the most effective way to get people to really understand what the program is about or what the products are about. Bill will tell you from his heart that he tried for years to knock on doctors' doors and try to get the doctors to understand that they needed to use this product, only to be stopped most of the time because he didn't have the relationship or whatever reason. He'll tell you he's got more doctors today exposed to our products because somebody knew somebody that knew somebody that knew somebody that introduced that doctor to the products. And it really is, we're working with a lot of professionals nowadays that are doctors and healthcare practitioners and own gyms and that thing that Bill probably thought at one time were never approachable, but they are approachable, and somebody does know somebody, and that's the way the business absolutely grows. It grows from your warm market and sharing from your heart each and every time. I'll never forget the most nail-biting moment that we had in this company is when Bill and Kim told us that they were coming down to meet with you, and we weren't invited to that meeting. And Gina and I sat there for probably 4 to 6 hours, not knowing what was being discussed.
That was the second meeting.
Yeah, that was the second meeting. Yeah, we were there at the first one, but the second meeting, and we were just, I mean, we were panic stricken. We were both saying, what's going on? And you got to let go for some of the stuff and let it happen. Let the process play out, because it did play out beautifully. I mean, I knew that you would fall in love with Bill and Kim. I knew that Kim and Bill would fall in love with you.
That was his vision.
Yeah, that was my vision in my head. And I knew it would be all right, but it was a nail-biting moment. And there's going to be a lot of nail-biting moments for everybody in the organization when they try to build a business. So,
one thing I want to add to.
I want y'all to close. Don't lose that train of thought.
Okay.
So one thing I want to say on the follow-up, folks, just don't, for everyone, not Ed and Gina, but for everyone else, as we wrap up here, I'm going to save this one comment, and then I want y'all wrap it up. So what's interesting is, from my own experience, people don't follow up because they're afraid of what's going to happen. Just recognize, as I sent in the chat bar, and as both Gina and Ed have said, don't be afraid of no. Don't be that. It's not a big deal.
Right.
Again, the sorting process, not a convincing process. No, as Gina said, means just no for now. It might be timing. Don't close the door. And I never close the door historically unless somebody's been rude and I just decide, you know what, I don't want you as a customer and I don't want you to do business. Other than that, we have an amazing model. We're bringing in far more customers than partners. Why? Because we have a model that rewards our partners extraordinarily well for bringing on customers. So the people that are coming on as partners genuinely want to have the thank you checks. And those that are just want to enjoy the products as a preferred customer, you can get it wholesale. So so you can just relax, share and care with a smile on your face, love in your heart, and on the follow-up, don't be afraid of the no. You can network through the no. This is another leadership training we'll do in the future, where if somebody says no, you say, hey, listen, with your blessing, I want to keep you up to speed on kind of how things are going. Who do you know that's health conscious? Who do you know that exercises a lot? Who do you know that might be battling some health challenges? And you can get referrals from people that actually say no for now. So don't be afraid of the follow-up. Teach it, train it. You heard Mike Dannenberg. Mike Dannenberg, who's a new director, you already heard. Mike Dannenberg and Heather, Ken Nasmith's followed up with him multiple times in a very positive way. It was a drip campaign. Just very positive, wasn't power closing, make a friend, find a need, transfer the feeling or share the feeling. That was the philosophy and the mindset. And when the timing was right, Mike engaged, and the rest is history. So, Ed and Gina, back to you to close, and I really am going to zip it, but this is great content.
No, you're always great, Jeff. So always interrupt if that thought comes, because, you know, you're just wonderful. But anyway, one thing I just want to say too is when we got started years ago, you know, there were like, Jeff, you remember this because we all got started about 30 years ago. There were only like maybe 5 major companies out there. So if you've been in, you know, the relationship marketing business, network marketing, you know, rarely does this happen, but I do just want to mention it. If someone asks you, hey, is this network marketing? Then you ask them, why? Do you like network marketing? If they say no, say, you're going to love this. If they say yes, you say, you're going to love this. So it goes both ways. So we are not the typical network marketing company. We do everything totally different. Bill and Kim and Jeff and our corporate team are doing it right. So they will love this company. They will love the opportunity. They will be proud. And they will be like you and us. They will say, this is the last thing we're going to ever have to do.
Exactly.
Well said.
Yeah, well, what can I add?
So I guess that's it for us.
That's it. It's so well said. And we can talk more about that. People say, why are you different? Well, everything. Okay. So and I want to just for we got a couple new partners on here. In closing, look, we had a products and scientific validation and intellectual property before we even had a corporation and a compensation plan.
Correct.
Okay, that I'll tell you from personal experience in over 30 years, that's the exact opposite. Most entrepreneurs get together, say, hey, let's form a relationship marketing company. Oh, now we got to go find a product. Let's see. Do we want to sell, you know, monogram stones?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
No, do we want to sell, you know, water?
Yeah.
Do we want to sell biodegradable, you know, ink markers?
Right.
You know, I mean, but we, you know, the foundation, because of Bill's background and Bill and Kim's passion, coming together with Ed and Gina and Steve Kushner, and it's products and science before company and compensation plan. That's the reason we commit so much to ongoing research and development for our intellectual property, for our ongoing clinical studies, over 40 peer-reviewed published clinical studies on our finished products. Patents, patent pending. I mean, folks, we spend, most companies, you know, I'm glad most companies spend more on what's outside of the bottle, the packaging and the marketing, than what's inside the bottle.
Correct.
We spend more on what's inside the bottle, and we always will. That's why our products deliver impact. We've got real customers, folks. We don't have to manufacture it. We don't have to pretend. You know, I looked the other day, we had it was just Friday. New customers, new partners. It was Friday morning's report for the day before. New customers and new partners. 90% of our new business the day before was from new customers, and 10% was from new partners. Some days it's 50-50, some days it's 70-30, but it's always at least 50% customers and volume and partners. And usually it's more like 70 to 80% customers over the last couple of months. We've got a real business. That by itself is different than every other company. Right. I mean, it's on, the list goes on and on. So I want you to understand what Gina said. You can share that, and you know, y'all know her, but you can share, and Ed's given some of the same coaching, which I love. You can share that with integrity because it's true. Mm-hmm. If you're attracted to relationship marketing, you're going to love what we're doing at VNI because we're taking it to a whole new level. We're raising the bar. If you don't like traditional network marketing, you're going to love VNI because we do things differently. Absolute true statement. I love it. So I had to jump in. All right. And say goodbye.
We thank everybody for joining us today. We really do want you to succeed in business. So, you know, just do it from the heart. If you'll do it from the heart, you'll absolutely understand that you could grow a business from the heart that'll help many, many people in many generations, you know, from now till the end of time. So thank you very much for joining us today.
Everyone have a wonderful and a blessed weekend. And we love you, and we will talk soon.
Thank you very much.
Okay, bye-bye.